Hi, welcome back to my channel. So I changed my background. I hope you love it. Well, I'm directly under the fan, so it's giving me definitely what it's supposed to give me because today is the topic for today is like really, really devastating. So I need some calming effects to my brain, literally, because it's becoming alarming the things happening in our society and how much devastating it is becoming by the day. So today we're going to be talking about a 43-year-old impregnating his own daughter, his 19-year-old daughter, and telling his daughter, you know what, since you're pregnant, say that it's your boyfriend that impregnated you. You can imagine the delusion. So I'm just going to give a backstory of how this whole nonsense, as I will call it, played out. Um, and if I happen to rant a bit, just forgive me. Like I'm pissed off. Literally, I'm really pissed off just by reading this. This is like really annoying. So just a backstory. I'm looking down to give you like a detailed overview. So a 43-year-old man impregnated his 19-year-old daughter and asked her to lie that is her boyfriend that impregnated her. And how this whole thing played out was the mother of the son, or rather, let me put it this way. A certain woman went to the police station to report that her son is wrongly accused of impregnating a certain girl, a certain 19-year-old girl. And so after reporting to the police, further investigated and said, you know what, let's invite her over to really get who actually pregnated her so that we can get this whole thing off your son's um chest and on off your son's case, and obviously after inviting her, she unraveled, she unveiled, she literally blotted everything out and said her father has been literally sleeping with her for a very long time. I paused. Just take that in. Her father has been sleeping with her for a very long time and threatened her that if she happened to reveal it to anybody, he'll kill her. Literally, he'll kill her. At least this is literally what is stated on here, that he will kill her literally. And so she has been sleeping with him basically, and she also had the boyfriend on the side that she was also sleeping with. So and after further investigation, they invited the father over, you know because they were curious to see who is this man, how come. And the daughter, the lady was saying that um how she's very certain that it's her father that pregnanted her was she, watched her cycle and all these things, and she figured out that okay, my father literally slept with me at so time, and I got pregnant at so time, and I slept with my boyfriend at so time, and it's just not tallying up. This is really devastating for me to report, but I have to like give my 2 cents on it. So after inviting the father over to the police station, the father literally blamed it on the devil. He confessed to his crimes and blamed it literally on the devil. And and after further investigation, it was reported that the father literally, that the man literally had altercations and problems with his daughter's mother, and so they separated, and so the mother went on to marry again, and he took custody of his 19-year-old daughter. And so the whole thing of him sleeping with her played out and whatnot. So first of all, let me just drop my book. The first thing I want to say is it's really bad enough that we don't have responsible fathers in our society, you know and this is not to say Nigeria is such a horrible country. No, my role, I'm a Nigerian, so when you listen to me talk about Nigerian problems, it's not because I want to bash the entire nation. It's because I feel like, in as much as it's a blessed nation, talking about the issues would probably pave a way to resolving problems. And I'm big on grassroots issues because a lot of times, both in Nigeria and abroad, we talk about global issues a lot of times, but we don't talk about the grassroots issues that is eating society and so many things that are happening behind the scenes. And this is one thing behind the scenes that fascinated me. And why it fascinated me is that it's bad enough that the Nigerian society does not have reasonable fathers. I mean, if you want to do a research, you probably find out that the population of good fathers, not just in the Nigerian society, even in this world now, the population of good fathers is really low. So the fact that a father now has custody of his 19-year-old daughter, after having problems with her mother and separating from her mother, and her mother has gone forward to, marry again and start off her life. Now you have custody of your own child. It's bad enough that the society has a decline in good fathers. Now you find some kind of joy in sleeping with your own daughter. And then not just that, you now tell your daughter that she should blame it on her boyfriend. Like okay, so she should have a boyfriend where she sleeps who she sleeps with, and you find it fascinating as a father, you know, for you to tell your daughter, "Oh, you know what, you're pregnant, it's fine. Just blame it on your boyfriend." So to you it is some sort of like it's pleasing to you that your daughter is sleeping with her boyfriend, and then you now want to blame it on the boy. So she's sleeping with him, and then you are sleeping with her. So I don't understand what you guys are sharing. I don't what sometimes I just feel sorry about the stammering and everything. I'm trying to control my anger. Sometimes I just wonder, you know, I get that as a man, there are urges and sexual temptations out there in the world, and so it's difficult for you to control yourself. I get that. Um what what bugs me is the fact that you literally find joy sleeping with your daughter. Like I am trying my best to wrap my head around that. Her boyfriend will sleep with her, and then you find joy in sleeping with her as well. And so there's some sort of back and forth passage of your daughter. Like it's almost like she's no more your daughter now. She's now some kind of piece of meat where you can ejaculate. And I'm sorry about I'm being vulgar here because it's bugging me. It's bugging me that we have so many girls that are struggling because of not being guided down the right path. And I'm a woman myself, and looking back at my younger days, you know, there were so many things that I wished I had in my lifetime. So many things, from I wanted to have a father that was present. My father, I lost my father at a certain age, and it broke me. Literally, it destroyed me. Literally. I'm not even going to go into details how that played out and how that affected my younger years, but it destroyed me. Like when I mean destroy, it took me down a very dark hole. I'm not even going to lie. I grieved for so many years, and I longed for that father figure, and I looked for it in people. And I know how much I was destroyed by people because I was looking for it in people. I know how much I was manipulated. I know how much I was destroyed. And so when I see news that people have fathers and then the fathers don't play their role as fathers, and then the father sort of find joy in sleeping with their daughters. I find it really, it pisses me off. It pisses me off. My 2 cents on it, I understand I've said a lot, but my 2 cents on it is this: the need for father figures in our society is so important. Even I myself, I really hope one day when it is time for me to settle down, that my husband would be very much present for our children. I think that's one of the top priorities that I have, you know, that I want. I want someone that is willing to be a father, that understands the role of a father. And the conversations around fatherhood in Nigeria is we don't even have these conversations. That's what's even bogus. That blows my mind. We don't have these conversations enough on the need, on the essence, on the importance of good fathers, of what it means to be a father. Because I think we raise our boys to be responsible and financially independent. But I don't even think we even teach our boys what it means to be fathers. We barely even teach them how to deal with their sexual urges and what they're going through sexually. So we leave them to figure it out themselves. And so that spirals them out of control. And then it is worse that men are just trained in Nigerian society to be financially independent. There's no sexual control training. There's no father role model to have deep conversations with beyond responsibility. There's no fatherhood relationship that is focused on, let me really play a role of a friend to you as my son. Let me play a role of a man to you as my, let me teach you what it means to be a man, how you can control these urges, how you can deal with life, how you can be a man, how you can respect this, how you can those conversations are just solely based on go to school, be financially responsible, and make sure you make us proud. Whatever else you're dealing with, to hell with you and to hell with your problems. Your job is to exist, to, be financially independent and make us proud. That's all your job is. So every other problem that you have is like secondary. And so, like, I just find it to be painful that constantly we deal with this issue and nobody is talking about it. Nobody's having conversations on it. Nobody even it's not even a global news. We talk about so many other things, corruption, bribery, and killings and whatnot, which is a very good thing. I don't have a problem with that. But then why are we not talking about grassroots issues? I keep on emphasizing on this. Why don't we talk about grassroots issues? Why don't we talk about the lack of fatherhood in the society? Like, why don't we address these things? Like, what is going on? Well, I'm digressing. Now to the lady. I don't want to blame her, to be honest with you. I really don't want to blame her. But I have something to say because I don't understand the idea of, do I even really want to say anything about her? 19-year-old. She barely even knows herself. I understand that people might even find that to be sort of surprising. But she barely knows herself. She's 19. All she knows is just sexual urges and sex. She barely, from everything that is playing now, sleep with the boyfriend. A daddy tells you sleep with me, and if you talk, I'll kill you. And so, like, and you're not living with mom, you're living with dad. So I can understand how threatening that is. But then, she barely knows herself. You know, There's so many things I want to say to her, and if I had the opportunity to say to her face to face, the first thing I would say is, I'm sorry that this happened to you. I'm really sorry that you had nobody to turn to. I'm sorry that you were tossed around like a piece of meat. I'm sorry that you um I'm sorry that you had to go through this. I'm sorry that you had to swallow every single time your father ejaculates inside you and sleeps with you and does treat you like a piece of meat. And I'm sorry that you had to also sort of find sanity, because I think the reason why you were sleeping with your boyfriend as well as your father was probably because you were trying to escape. You were trying to sort of escape from the trauma, and so you were sort of like trying to find some sort of essence to your life by sleeping with your boyfriend. Yeah, I'm trying to picture what that would look like for someone like her, and what that would feel like, to be honest with you. And I just I'm speechless. I can't even talk. That child now she's carrying in her womb, how the hell is she going to deal with, carrying her father's child? What is the future going to look like for her? How is she going to deal with raising a child when she barely even knows herself? She's 19-year old. Like, how is she even going to navigate that time? How is she going to deal with shame? How can a father watch his daughter sleep with her boyfriend, and then she comes back, and then you want to also have some taste of that as well? I don't